What's going on, guys? JWJake2005 here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Transformers War Cybertron Netflix Bumblebee. Now, this Bumblebee figure, it is an Earthrise figure, but not released under the Earthrise line. Because, it was supposed to be, it is an Earthrise figure, but it wasn't released in Earthrise, and because of that, it got released exclusively to the Netflix version of the War Cybertron figures. And luckily, they haven't done anything to this figure to make it like the Netflix figures, which is a lot more like rust and battle damage on them, as you've seen in my Ultra Magnus review. If you have watched that, if you haven't, please go watch it. And yeah, so he transforms into his classic VW bug form, and it's all the better for it, because it's like it is an officially licensed Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, heck, if you look on the hood here, come on, camera, focus, there you go, he has the VW logo on him, which is pretty cool, and he also has a nice Autobot symbol on the bonnet as well. Yeah, this figure has taken quite a while to get over here to the UK, more specifically in Smiths where I got it, because the dates kept being pushed back and back and back, and I eventually managed to track him down to a local Smiths to me. And yeah, there's actually one play gimmick carried over from the Cliffjumper figure, which will most likely be my next review, in which if you take all the components of the blaster, which is the same one as Cliffjumper's, heck, this is Cliffjumper's, but I prefer the look of Cliffjumper's over Bumblebee's, you can both disassemble it into its key components, take the little, either the ammo clips or, stands, tab them into, so there's these tabs here, and these pegs here, there we go, focused, you can just tab these on into there, grab the blasters, which have little tabs and, have little slots in them there, and they will go into these tabs here, but sort of like this way, like so. Then you can take the rear piece here, which would go on the back of the cannon, just split that open, make sure this giant peg here goes into this hole here, and these two smaller pegs here go into these two holes here. Just like so. And there you have the ski mode, which isn't really a secret, because it is Cliffjumper's ski mode, or jet ski mode, as seen in the season 2 two-parter of the G1 show Dinobot Island. I haven't watched it, but I plan on watching it, and when I get to my Cliffjumper review, you will see how accurate that is. So yeah, that is the vehicle mode for you. For size comparison, here he is next to Siege Sideswipe, so you can get a good view of what a deluxe is versus, what a deluxe should be versus what a deluxe nowadays is. Here he is next to Siege Hound, again showing what a deluxe should be versus what a deluxe is nowadays. Here he is next to the behemoth known as Siege Ultra Magnus, there we go, and he just absolutely dwarfs Bumblebee. And luckily, because Ultra Magnus is a car carrier, you can just place Bumblebee on top like so. in which, because of that, it also looks like you can man the weapons from up there. So yeah, that is Ultra Magnus. And finally, here he is next to Earthrise Starscream, who is, I believe, a Voyager class figure. Possibly leader. Nope, definitely Voyager, because he's actually slightly smaller than Earthrise Optimus, which will be my final review until I get the next figure, which I hope is Megatron. Now, let's get into transformation. So, to transform him, first things first, just basically rip off the back half off the figure. So you've just got this entire section here, which I'll talk about later on. Then you can untab the doors from the underside. This will then allow you to untab the front of the vehicle, like so. Then flip the wheels down under the vehicle, bring them up like this, and rotate the feet 90 degrees. Come around to the back, and then these tabs here will go into these holes in the wheels. Here, like so. There you go. And you'll eventually have something like this by now. Then you can untab the arms. This will then allow you to rotate or bring up this whole section here, which will reveal the whole pelvis area. Then you can rotate this whole thing around, untab the roof, which is very difficult on this figure for some reason. Then you can bring up the rear wheels and arms, bring down the arms, bring down the hood, close the roof back up, come to the back, and you can see there's a peg here, which is where you tabbed in the peg in for the jet ski mode. And because of how difficult this peg is to get out, you're gonna want to get a pair of tweezers to just wedge in there and pull it out. Even then, that's not even a 100% success rate. And here, once you've got this peg pulled out, just slide it into there, and there you go. Now we're going to assemble his weapon. So you're gonna bring all these parts here, and just take these two blaster parts. This one with the hole in the back will peg into the one with the peg on the back, like so. Then you can bring this chunk here, that will plug into there. Then take the kickstand parts or ammo clips and just peg those into there like so. And there's the gun. Here he is in robot mode. And may I just say, this is probably one of the best looking G1 Bumblebee figures I have ever seen. Like, the Masterpiece ones are good. Masterpiece Bumblebee 1.0 was like it had the proper Volkswagen Beetle vehicle mode, but it sort of made the robot mode a bit disproportionate. Bumblebee 2.0, we don't really talk about Bumblebee 2.0. But this guy, however, this feels like a proper true to form return for Hasbro. Because, like, this is G1 Bumblebee. Like, he's got the classic head. If I can get my camera to focus, there you go. He's got the classic head. Like, the proportions are accurate. He's got the big clumpy bonnet shoes. Like, this is G1 Bumblebee, if I've ever seen him. Anywho, for a quick size comparison, here he is next to his weapon. Yeah, just really goes to show how small this guy is, knowing that his weapon is just very, very slightly Actually, it's around the same size as him. Oh, okay, that's actually new to me. I thought that the weapon was actually taller than him, but no, it's actually the same size, which is shocking. Anywho, here he is holding it, and yeah, that is too big. So I don't usually like to pose him like that, but when I do have him with a weapon, I just split this whole thing in half, take the middle section, and just use that to sort of replicate his iconic pistol blaster, which is what I like about this giant clumpy cannon. Like, yes, what we see Cliffjumper use in the G1 pilot episodes, but I do like how it can also be disassembled into, like, pistols. So yeah, one major flaw about this figure that everyone's pointing out, which is the same with Cliffjumper, is the backpack. Which, to be honest, doesn't really bother me. Like, yeah, I know it's parts forming, and it does kind of take away from the transformation, well, the puzzle aspect of the transformation. But if you think about it, it can also be used as a shield. Yeah, this way around, I believe. It can also be used as a shield. So you could sort of, never mind, that fell right out of his hand. So he can sort of shield himself like that while bang, bang, bang. Just a shame that the peg's right where the window is, because you could have had it where, like, he uses it to look through as he shoots. So yeah, overall, I'd say this is a really good figure. I would highly recommend getting it. Let's get into the size comparisons. Here he is next to Siege Sideswipe, and wow, that just really goes to show how tall Bumblebee is. Like, Bumblebee's shoulder only goes up to about Sideswipe's elbow, which is a yikes. Here he is next to Siege Hound, and pretty much the same thing as with Sideswipe, but this guy's slightly taller, so Bumblebee's shoulder goes just like at the bottom of the elbow joint, which again just goes to show how small Bumblebee is as a deluxe compared to a regular sized deluxe. Here he is next to Voyager Ultra Magnus. So there's that, which is actually quite large looking at it now. And yeah, Bumblebee's shoulder goes to his wrist. So that's a big yikes. And yeah, as I keep saying throughout these size comparisons, Bumblebee is tiny. And in my Cliffjumper review, I will be doing Bumblebee as the final comparison for that. Here he is next to Siege Leader Ultra Magnus, which I have to put him really far back in order to do the size comparison, because Bumblebee's like, I'd say about a foot away from the camera. So let's move an extra 2 feet. And yeah, Bumblebee is tiny compared to Ultra Magnus. I mean, seriously, just look at that size. I'm surprised he even made it through Siege, to be honest. But then again, saying that, he did have, the spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, it's been on there for like about a few months. He has some connections with Sound Blaster, who's sort of like an Energon dealer. So yeah, that is the size comparison for Ultra Magnus with his armor. And finally, here he is next to Earthrise Voyager Starscream. Barely like, I'd say about, well, the top of the backpack gets him to just at Starscream's elbow. So yeah, that's apparently a deluxe next to a Voyager. Articulation wise, it's actually really good. Like, you have a nice ball joint at the head, which is actually very tight. Rotation at the arm can move out. A swivel at the bicep, a very tight swivel because it feels like there's some, like, yeah, just as I thought there is, if I can get it to focus, some uncut loose plastic from the mold stuck in there. But I again saying that's on both arms, so it might be due to, well, this might be there so he cannot remove his arms unnaturally. But, oh, god damn it, camera, focus. There you go, now you focused. So he doesn't bend his arms unnaturally. Seeing that, you've got a 90-degree bend at the elbow, forwards and backwards, but this is mainly for transformation. A swivel at the wrist. If I get the arms out the way for the lower half, like so, he's got an arching back. And that just looks stupid. But yeah, that's mainly for transformation. Legs can kick forward that far, can kick back that far. Very good outwards. I'm not sure. Rotation, outwards hinge. That's it. A very good outwards hinge. A very nice bend at the knee. No up and down at the foot, but you do have a very good pivot, perhaps a bit too good. But yeah, and that is Articulation on Bumblebee. Anywho, that is my review for the Transformers War of Cybertron trilogy. Netflix. It should be Earthrise Deluxe Class Bumblebee. If you liked the video, make sure that you hit the like button. Put in a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you liked about the video. Tell me how I can improve if you want. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. And hit the notification bell for when I upload in about 4 years' time. Anywho, that is my review for Netflix Bumblebee. And I shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye.